worry! Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
Worry! Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
Worry! Be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
worry! The only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
Hindi aabot ang data! Nice!
Don't worry! The only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
stars. Look at us to the top, no ifs, no buts. Winning any game, para to sa PIN na yes. Di mo matitin ang aming boses sa new level. Nasa kalye man o mobile, you know I become a legend. Open fire, we unite, we winners. Built with pressure, the diamonds are made of. Switch na lane na parang gera, HP racing, may reset up. Built agad ang buhat ni Hilda, full load SS parang Lyra. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas, tagumpay natin to. Dahil tayo'y malakas, para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas kasi kami ang malakas, para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Hold on, yeah. Malakas ang Pinas. Laging every beat, no surrender, no retreat. Pag nagsama-sama, just imagine what we can achieve. Laging every beat, no surrender, no retreat. Giving 100 all my all, cause we just cannot be defeated. We are unstoppable, immune and invulnerable. Ready ang equipment, lahat frozen, malang crowd control. Pakita ko na jab like pow, beast of the southeast. So watawa-tawa, loud cause every enemy we devour. Susundan ko ang iyong bakas, kasama patas, tagumpay natin to. Dahil tayo'y malakas, para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa at malakas, para sa Pinas. Nasa amin ang alas, hindi tuwa atras. Kinikilala sa taas, ganito kami sa Pinas. Wow! Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Kahit anong lane, we become the monsters. Malakas, Pilipinas, malakas. Someone repping for the 3 stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, be the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we lakas ng Pinas, we the stars.
Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars. Ang lakas ng Pinas, we unite, we the stars.
Of MPL Philippines is brought to you by the following sponsors. Infinix, the MPL official gaming phone. Lakas sa laro with Infinix. Of MPL Philippines. Our partner in esports, Time Zone. Join the fun at Time Zone. TT Racing. For those who dream, work, and play, TT Racing has your back. Don't miss any MPL action by following our official Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH on TikTok for more content. Experience the Lakas ng Pinas of MPL PH Season 15 action live at Green Sun Hotel. Grab your tickets now via official MPL PH website. All the regular season tickets are now available at 200 pesos. MPL Philippines is monitored and supervised by the Games and Amusement Board.
binibigkas ang lakas ng Pinas.
15 seasons na tayo ang namumuno sa mundo ng MLBB.
7 taon, 5 World Championship. New Era World Domination.
Ito ang dala ng ating kampyon, ang tunay na lakas ng Pinas.
Pinakamalakas? Welcome to MPL Philippines Season 15!
After yet another dominant season and just year for the Philippines, and now after a historic World Championship win, we are here. It's a new season, a new journey, and perhaps even a new era. What is up, guys? I'm Nice Dude, joined here on the desk. Once again, it's 3 of us. It's the We Bear Bros. It's Leo and Renmar. Gentlemen, how we doing?
I am excited more now than ever. As you mentioned, it's the dawn of a new era, and boy, oh boy, what a blessing it is to be at your service from the front lines.
It is good to be back. I am off that couch and finally back on this desk, and it's great to share the opener of Season 15 with you, gentlemen.
It is, again, it is going to be interesting because we have a lot of mix. I mean, we saw a little bit of a preview, but for a lot of our viewers out there, especially here on the international stream, we're gonna have to kind of educate them a little bit because there are some, let's say, new rivalries that might pop up, some old rivalries that might kind of renew here as well, because there's a whole lot of history, man. There's like 7 years of history here.
Not to mention new faces.
Yes.
And of course, new colors. 2 new franchises in MPL Philippines. When was the last time you saw 2 big names enter our league?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the peak of new era storytelling in MPL Philippines Season 14, but here comes Season 15, again with the new orgs, returning faces. As you mentioned, a lot of the old stories we were used to are going to be told in a different light.
They are, but before we get to the action, of course, we have to thank our amazing sponsors for the season here. So you can play like a pro with the Infinix GT20 Pro, the MPL official gaming phone.
Grab yours now and use the voucher code INFINIMPL. That's INFI MPL to get up to 1,000 pesos off and get exclusive freebies.
A whole lot there, again, that you guys can grab for us, and we've got more of our sponsors to go through today. We've got plenty of time here, about 24 minutes before we actually get to this matchup. But that's the thing. I think a lot of people are going to be waiting to see exactly what does happen here, especially with a new org, I guess you could say, at least here for the MPL Philippines. But also, again, we want to go ahead and give a shout out to Smart, because you need a pro-level speed for your gaming, because make the smart switch and stay ahead of the game.
Get your Smart eSIM today for only 99 pesos and experience ultra-fast 5G connectivity on any device. No SIM swapping needed.
It is available now at Smart stores nationwide or online via the Smart Online Store.
And again, big shout out to our sponsors to help us kick off this amazing season ahead of us. Whole lot here. And once again, for our audience out here, they are prepped and ready, I feel like this. They were cheering on for our opening again. Good to see some of these highlighted players, if you will, throughout our history here for the MPL Philippines. And I think, you know, for a lot of them, sometimes when they have that favorite player, for example, to cheer for, I mean, we still got the traditional UA screams out here because we got RORA playing against Twisted Minds to kick us off.
Yeah, and again, this is what we were talking about when it comes to old stories being told in a different light. The members of Aurora, we're very familiar with them already, but the members of Twisted Minds is going to be a reintroduction. That's the organization that got the slot of RSG Philippines, but is very Blacklist International Season 14 coded. While, of course, Yaoi makes his comeback with TNC Pro Team, and the savior, potentially, of the Phoenix Army will have to go up against gods in his return in the Philippines.
What a David versus Goliath matchup to close off the opener of MPL Philippines Season 15. You know what? I can't decide which one I'm excited to do more, you know what I mean? Oh, luckily, we will be here to call all the action.
I was going to say, you know, well, at least for us, it's kind of like we get to witness both, but hopefully the viewers out there too watching, I'm sure you guys have a lot of curiosity on exactly what's going to happen here, because There's a whole lot. I mean, coming from everything that was accomplished last year, it's kind of weird to say that because it was just a couple months ago. You know, January felt really long, by the way, gentlemen. But the thing is things can change quickly. I know we will probably get more into this discussion about the meta changing. You know, we did have some of those big changes happen just a few weeks ago, I'd say. But more so is, how does this new era like set up for us here in the MPL Philippines? Considering how many accolades or achievements have happened, what more now could potentially one of these new teams or these new organizations be one of the main representatives leading forward for us?
For the first time in a while, we have rookies actually playing in the league.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while, a World Championship franchise has been torn apart, reassembled, and that's one way, I think, to, you know, revitalize MPL Philippines' strength and dominance in the world stage.
Yeah, and I think this is the perfect opening matchup that you can get in terms of asking for a new era, what the potentially new meta can bring to the table for this upcoming season, because these two teams with the coaching staff, MTB, Coach Bonchan, they're used to the very unique picks.
And we're going to have to take a look here again. 7-year history here for the Twisted Minds players. Leo, why don't you take us through this?
Almost every single player opening for Twisted overseas, except, hold on. Before I go on, am I seeing this right? Is Sinsui playing in Rome?
It looks like he is, man.
The former import for Red Esports in Malaysia, formerly a Blacks International, going as far as top 3 in M5 and debuting in Season 10 under ONIC Philippines. He's playing Rome now?
He's playing Rome?
Since when?
That is crazy. I mean, the last time Coach Bonchan turned a jungler into a roamer, MPL Philippines Season 8 and M3 happened to, well, his teammate, Hajizi.
You know what? They're going to have to rely on Hajizi, the KDA machine, formerly the all-around agent, to be that anchor. He is the most experienced, the most veteran player of Twisted Minds, having debuted in Season 2 under SXC and have gone all around the world and now back under new management.
So this is interesting because it's kind of like, how do they take this chemistry and build on it? I mean, obviously individually they have a lot there, and then you have that history even for Haji, for example, but then you have a new player in a new role that maybe some people aren't used to seeing, so they have to figure that out. But here across from us also, we have RORA and their 7-year history.
You know what, as a former 12-year-old myself, yeah, I've gone through that feeling of looking at my idols. Yue was 12 years old when Hajizi joined in MPL Philippines Season 2, and going through his phase of binge watching anime in 2020, I mean, I'm pretty sure the entire world did that at some point. Amateur, into Blacklist, into Aurora. Yue will definitely be one of the pillars of Aurora to look out for.
You know what? There's hope for me. I can follow in the footsteps of my favorite player of all time, the Hitman Renegade, because I was once a 4th-year high school student myself.
Hey, I can't say weren't we all. Maybe some of us weren't. But I was.
If one of us weren't, that's cool. Maybe someone skipped a grade. By the way, I didn't realize up until seeing this graphic just how young Dominkite is. He turned 12 years old in 2019. That means he's just 18 years old right now, and he's in one of the best teams in the world.
It's crazy to think when you really put that in perspective for a lot of these players, you know, how young and talented they are. And then that's the whole other thing about how they were able to go ahead and balance. You know, I know some of the players had to balance going to school or like the academics while still practicing and playing. And then, you know, once they get their shot on the professional stage, I'm sure a lot of them too have that decision alongside their families, like, what do we pursue here? Do we take this opportunity? And for a lot of the players, it's worked out. Now, for RORA specifically, without too much obviously changing from what we've seen from the past here, I think a lot of people want to know, are they going to be able to improve from what a lot of people saw just back in Malaysia?
You know what? It's less of improvement, more of refinement. They have been so consistently inconsistent, and there seems to be something about Malaysian soil, whether it be Kuala Lumpur, whether it be Johor Bahru, Aurora just doesn't seem to have great footing. Now that they're back on home soil, now that they're back on a stage where they took the world champions all the way to 7 games, maybe they figured it out. Maybe they could come back and show us exactly why they are the 2nd strongest team ending MPL Philippines Season 14.
Yeah, I think because of their recent lack of achievements, their results, people forget what Aurora did in the playoffs. They're the team that took down Blacklist, Falcons AP brand, and Team Liquid on the road to the grand finals to face off against ONIC Philippines. So definitely the DNA of a strong team is there. Can they bring it out consistently? Again, is the main question for Aurora.
I think we've seen this before where, you know, a lot of these teams, a lot of these players, when they get more time to stay together, from season to season, and then they get that time to build up on that chemistry and that play style, what kind of sets them apart, is where we usually see them shine. So that's what I'm personally expecting to see here from RORA, where, you know, now that they've been together for a while, they had a pretty phenomenal season, I'd say, from last season. It just fell short a little bit internationally. They should be able to bring a lot here for this one.
Imagine how much worse this is for Twisted Minds. They're a new team.
They are. We'll see if their minds are twisted or they can make it work. But we're going to go ahead and throw it out for an all-access interview with Hans and Odin.
Maraming salamat muli sa ating mga casters. Again, my name is Hans Galeria.
And this is your very own Odin. Kasama natin ngayon si Haji Z. Haji, 7 taon na ang dominance natin sa MLBB scene at 7 taon na rin ang iyong history dito. Ang tagal mo na dito, di ba? So how are you feeling now na nire-representa mo ang newest MPL team na Twisted Minds?
Bagong experience sa akin. So, masaya naman. Tapos, yung una, nag-a-adjust. Pero ngayon, feeling ko rin
Nararamdaman ko din yun, Hans, na parang very chill ngayon si Haji.
Tama nga sila dyan eh. Hindi nyo na siguro nakikita, pero yan, kaya medyo napapangiti siya. Now, I wanna ask you, kasi nabanggit nga niya, Haji, ka na ulit ngayon. Ano pang meron? Haji ka before, ba't bumalik ka sa Haji? Ano pang meron?
Tawag kasi sa akin, di ba, ang LDA machine. Eh, yung LDA machine kasi, nakuha yun nung busy pa yung IGN ko. Tapos, naisip ko lang, parang yun. IGN ko lang.
So I guess, we're gonna be expecting more KDA machine performances this season, right?
The era is back para kay Haji Z. Naku, aabangan natin yan. And now, makakatapat nyo agad ang ginagawang rival sa'yo dito sa scene, which is Yue. Ano pa bang na-expect namin from you?
Wala.
Wala. Sige, ano ba sa tingin mo yung meron kay Yue dun sa nakalaban mo siya thrice, di ba? Last season. So, you've won at least one match against him. Ano bang meron kay Yue previously, nung unang beses na naglaban kayo, at ano sa tingin mo yung magiging pagkakaiba ngayon?
Siguro feeling ko mas na ako ngayon, mas prepared.
Ooh. Parang
si Sensui sabi.
Oo nga eh.
Mamaya Sensui, interview na kita.
Parang
relax ka lang dyan.
Sinasabi ni Haji Z na abangan na lang natin sa loob ng Land of Dawn. And bilang isa nga sa mga veterans na kumbaga sa inyong team na Twisted Minds, paano mo minamotivate ngayon ang iyong mga kakampi?
Ikaw ba yung motivator?
Wala, sila yung nag-motivate sa akin.
Sino dyan?
Sino dyan?
Si Sensui. Papakitin ba natin dito si Sensui, Derek? Parang ayaw niya eh. Ayaw niya. Sige, ganito na lang. Alright, ganito na lang. Ikaw, si Sensui, even you, personally, you've met Yue and we've seen the matchups that you guys have given all throughout. Right? Kung meron ka mang mensahe ngayon kay Yue, kasi I'm sure nandun siya sa kabila, napapanood niya to, naririnig niya to, ano masasabi mo sa kanya?
Good luck, Yue. Galingan natin.
Guys, tatanggapin ba natin yung good luck? Tatanggapin natin yung good luck? Pwede ba? Hindi? Okay. Sige. Kailangan ko pa ng kaunting
Ilabas mo lahat ng saloobin mo ngayon para kay Yue.
Anong mensahe mo para kay Yue?
Mahal na mahal kita, Yue.
Parang iba yung napalabas natin ngayon, Hans, dito sa ating all-access segment,
Sige.
no?
Rerekta na ako kasi kailangan ko nang pumili eh. Pumili ka na ng isa dyan. Okay? Feeling ko si na lang, no? Si Sensui na lang, no?
Halika na, samahan mo kami dito.
Halika na dito.
Ikaw ang nagiging...
Ikaw ang bida eh.
Oo, motivator ngayon ni Haji Z.
Yan, ikaw ang bida. Dito ka muna. Uy, si Pert! Hindi ba na si Pert dyan? Hindi si Pert dyan. Kamusta? Kasi siyempre, ikaw din ay ng ibang bansa, tapos ngayon nagbabalik ka. Ano bang reason ng iyong pagbabalik? Tsaka, kamusta ang Twisted Minds as one of the newest teams?
Okay lang po.
Okay,
Okay
yun
na
lang.
to.
Yun lang. And it appears like we finally have it. Ready na lumaban ng Twisted Minds. Okay lang siya, handa lang siya. Rekta na natin sa ating mga casters.
Thank you so much, Hans, Odin, and of course, Hajizi, and also Sensui there. Now, what do you guys think? Because our international viewers, obviously, that was in Filipino, that was in Tagalog for them. What do you guys think is better, Hajizi or Haji?
Okay.
KDA or the all-arounder?
Just to answer the question, we gotta be specific, right? All-around agent, that was like season 14, right? Where he had to just do everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Where is Haji season 8 and season 10, where he actually won a championship? What do you call that era?
Well, I think that's part of the all-around agent era,
that one.
isn't it? Yeah.
That one.
So that's it for you. I don't know, man. I'm a stats guy. I'm a numbers guy. Comparing the KDA, the man was hitting his shots when he had the Jizzy in him.
The Jizzy.
So, the Jizzy. In the name. It's in the name.
I think it's Izzy, because
Izzy.
Haji is part of his name, so Z, more like just the Z.
Oh, it's just the Z. Yeah, when you have the Z.
Because you don't say the Tizzy. Oh, you know what I mean?
All right. So when he had the Z in his name,
Okay.
Even though he didn't win championships during that time, but the man was a killer.
Hey, he went to M2.
And he did go to M2. The man was a killer, so that's what I'm waiting for.
Well, you guys can let us know too, the community out there. Let us know what you think. We can debate here on the desk, but why don't you guys let us know? You've got A, B, C, and D there. You can go ahead and let us know which Haji era is the best era.
What do you like?
I'm gonna have to say KDA machine, man, because I was one of those players in the early days where I was like, you know what, just go for all the kills. Even if that's a kill still, just go for it.
You know damn well stats ain't everything.
Pad it.
Really? Okay. You know what? Yeah. I mean, we agree on that. We agree on that regard. So yeah, I agree with it.
You're gonna go with the KDA machine? No, I mean,
yeah,
Renmar.
Yeah, like, I don't know, the man had a different swagger to him, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
By the way, he played like 100 less games, by the way, in that time.
Well, I mean, in my head canon, I'm delusional. So it's the KDA machine with championships, even though he didn't actually win championships.
You're blinded by it.
Yeah, I'm just blinded by it. I'm just, in my head, it's like, he never changed his name.
Haji on the Ling, Haji on the Lance.
How about you, sir?
Oh, all-around agent. I love it when Haji was a role player and he took Blacklist International to all new heights.
Yeah.
My heart is still in Singapore.
What role do I want to play today? It's basically how he woke up every day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't just him asking himself. It was also Coach Bonchan asking him. It's like, hey, you feel like roaming or mid-laning today, man? So it's like, which one? You know, during that time, I felt kind of bad for him. Mainly because that's two different hats to wear. I know it's the center of the map, but it's two very different mentalities to go from roam to mid. The fact that he made that work and they were able to make playoffs runs with that, that's crazy. It just goes to show how talented Haji is.
You know,
Hajizi is.
Him, Coach Bon, and V. They would talk about it, and consider this, folks. That's not even the toughest thing he's had to do. I think now is the toughest thing he's had to do, is pull together this new franchise, this new team where he is the #1 most experienced player. And he has to be the one saying, fellas, you gotta make it work.
Yeah. That's why I think, all those hats that he had to kind of wear and all those iterations of Haji that he went through over
all of
the
his
seasons,
minds.
all of those minds, basically, like it's all gonna hopefully play a big part in this season for them and of course the team, because honestly, that's all a learning experience for him, and then he can apply it to how he needs to fit into this team right now. And I think that's the same thing you can look at is, for a lot of these players, and we'll talk more about them later because there's some, prominent names here that are going to be playing just tonight alone. And you're going to see, can they bring that experience? Can they bring those accolades from them and then make it work for this team, this lineup that they have here?
Yeah. We're looking at the lineup of these two, just with the comparison. Twisted Minds, because of Hajizi, okay, MP the King, and James, even though they're the newer team, the chemistry you're looking for, they have the accolades that you're looking for.
Well, the accolades might be able to help them again, and when it comes to the individual level, we know the skill's there, but I think that's still kind of the big question mark right now that I can't wait to see go forward is Sensui, man. Like, how is this going to work in the roam?
You know what? I think their site selection speaks so much more than everything that we've said, because despite the franchise change, despite the, housing of all of these players from all sorts of leagues and experiences and careers, Coach Bonchan is still Coach Bonchan.
Yeah.
Alongside Esson, it's still Red Side.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, Red Side has seen an evolution, I feel like. We were together in SPS. Didn't it feel like Red Side has now become the main driving force behind drafts? The first 3 bans changes so much. Yeah. Opening juice in, keeping the juice in away, the trades between Suyo, Joy, those 2 junglers. I feel like now Red Side has evolved into the driving force, and really, it's perfect for the likes of Coach Bonchan and Coach Esson, who love doing that in drafts.
So would you say it's the favored side, at least from what we're seeing statistically, because it was just last season even where Blue Side had a very one-sided win rate, right?
At one point it was like 65-35% Blue Side.
So unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Well, again, we don't exactly know where things are going to fall into place. I always love week 1 because that's where things really start to show. But also, we got to show our marshals here to bring us into this match. Let's go ahead and throw it on stage for the marshal walk-in.
MPL Arena, welcome to the first match of the day, the opening game of the MPL Philippines Season 15. Introducing our marshals, Josh, Chico, David, and JJ. That's here to twist the game. Welcome to the MPL Twisted Minds. James. In the jungle, MP the King. Bringing back an old name in the mid, Haji. Former allies, of course, still brothers, Coach, Master of the Basics, and Coach Von Chan.
There we go, getting a preview once again, but let's go through the roster here for everyone at home. Leo, take us through Twisted Minds.
All right, Twisted Minds, new team, same faces. I'm smelling a new game. I saw Coach Bonchan looking up to Master the Basics, who wouldn't, right? But literally, I saw these players and I'm buying it now. You know what? Even before the game starts, I think Sensui has something up his sleeves, dog.
Yeah.
I think Sensui has been training in a hyperbolic chamber, like my boy Goku, and is ready to carry it.
That's my brother.
You could hear me through the bathroom. I thought the door was locked, and I thought
it doesn't matter if it's locked or not, Leo. We can hear
heard that?
We can hear you.
That was you?
You
I
just got.
I thought that was the construction they were doing.
He just got that voice. It travels through. But of course, you know, once again, the players getting us situated here, and all that is, you know, for the integrity and readiness of the players in the games here. Of course, as we open up S15, I can't wait. What is that?
That's how players do the ping test. I was lucky enough to be behind one of them, like in one of the previous events we had. They just go.
Yeah. I mean, like even like the roamers sometimes would just show up with assassins, you know, to get warmed up with.
That's probably the best way.
Fingers.
Yeah. You know, other than that, that works too.
Yep. Checking them.
Have you seen that?
Yep. They just go.
What's
like
that?
this.
That's actually a warm-up exercise, man.
Yeah, that's how they check it.
Yeah.
They buy items like this.
Yeah. So I don't use the claw. I've never been a claw player. I don't know if that's the right term.
Yeah, it's a difficult grip because you're like that.
He hit top global gourd with that, by the way, by not using claw.
By not using it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we're gonna have to
go with your
get
hands.
back.
Why are you single?
Number 28, Makati Bane, by the way. Also non-claw. Also non-claw.
But he's got a claw cannon.
Yeah, he's got a crab claw cannon.
Oh, sorry, he's got a crab claw cannon.
I don't know where he got it.
That's in the lore somewhere. You know, you gotta find it somewhere there. But I will find it there. But of course, while we wait for the players to get set up here and situated, we can go ahead and talk more about the fact that, again, a lot of familiarity between these. Renmar, you might have something. Hold on. Okay, This is still the Game 1 side selection update. Twisted is still going to be on that red side here. So you were talking about this earlier, Redmar, you know, what you've seen at least for red side and how it's developed over time.
Yeah.
What do we expect? Like, are we expecting a lot of change from what a lot of people watching right now was SBS, right?
No, I think there's going to be a lot of familiarity in terms of the bans. Jusin, Suyo, Joy, those trades, but then of course you're looking at the teams potentially banning out Eve if it's a power pick, and most importantly, the return of Selena to the meta has actually opened up a lot of new possibilities. We've seen what a strong Selena can do in the hands of Super Prince and Few in the last SPS. I wouldn't be surprised if Twisted Minds is already thinking in the back of their heads, hey, can we get Haji Z back on a Selena in the mid lane?
That's my bane, man. I like, not the hero, but that's my personal bane is Selena.
You just hate Selena.
I just hate every time it pops up, and because of what we've seen traditionally or in the trend of Selena coming back to the game because of the prominence there, it's popped up in the ranked games, man. And I would say that obviously vision is still super important, but what I would like to go ahead and see here develop is always, again, what's the jungle meta going to be? Because personally, you know, we have seen a lot of those assassins, a lot of, you know, the Joys, the Suyos, the Nolans to an extent, like pop up. But I'm wondering too if we actually see sort of somewhat of a throwback where maybe some of the utility kind of peeks through in the current meta.
Fredrin has always just been a factor.
He's been there.
Right? He's still a bully compared to other betweeners like
him and Akai, maybe like
Alpha. Akai is solid against a lot of heroes that need mobility.
Solid against everyone all the time.
Something to consider.
Pandas.
Pandas.
Is Hanzo. He is now legal for tournament play. When we last saw Hanzo after the patch, it was still under the 2-week ban notice in SPS. So now we have to consider that for this next match.
Yeah, and for the key to victory here for Twisted Minds, you gotta unleash the question is, what does that mean? Oh, how are you gonna play? What heroes is he gonna play? We don't know. We have no sample size for what he plays in that role. So if you're Aurora, you can challenge the chemistry of Twisted Minds. Again, say what you will about their consistent inconsistency. When they're consistent and firing in all cylinders, Aurora is one of the toughest teams to go up against because it feels like your entire map is smothered. You try to do something, someone's covering another part of the map. Plus, new era, new meta. I feel like for both, just go wild. Bring out Gushans. Bring back Martis.
Play Hanzo!
Play Hanzo, especially Hanzo.
I want to just see a bunch of... Play Gord! Hey, you know what? You guys are talking about your wish list. I'll throw it out there too. Bring him back this season. I know he popped up a little bit here and there, but bring him back because right now it is the thing. It's the new era, the new meta for a lot of these. And I think that's too. For Aurora is, again, you have to look at what they accomplished last season where it's like some people doubted them a little bit throughout the regular season, then boom, they're in the grand finals. You know, they're able to go ahead and just accomplish things like that. And so again, when you look at both teams across from you, they have that go factor if they need it. And what a better way to do it than your first match for the season in week 1. I mean, I know we have, you know, points falling into place eventually when we get through this, but you want to be able to get that footing going right off the bat.
Again, a quick reminder, folks, we are still playing with the league points rules from Season 14, so it doesn't matter whether you win by a sweep or through a 3-game series, you get 1 point. So, that being said, I'm going to go back to how we see this matchup. And you talked about doubts, right?
Yeah.
Count me in as one of them. I predicted on social media that RORA will still take this, but X Factor, I said 2-1 RORA.
Ooh.
2-1 RORA?
So maybe Twisted Minds kind of just gets one from under, and then RORA closes up. That's what I see.
Yeah, and I think that even adds more context to their decision to go red side, because if they want a surprise, you got to do it from the red side.
We'll see if they can actually make it happen for the red side, but we are getting word we are going to be taking a short break while they get things situated here. So sit tight with us, be patient. We'll be back after the short break. Hold tight, we'll be back.
worry, be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi na bitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
Hindi aabot ang data! Nice!
Don't worry, be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi na bitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
worry, be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi na bitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
worry, be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
worry, be only with Smart Power All 99. Hindi nabitin with 10 gig data plus only Facebook or TikTok and more. Load now!
Who needs to go to a concert when you can own that stage with your friends?
Enjoy a night of impromptu bowling tournament.
And welcome back. Thanks for waiting and being patient with us while we got things situated. Again, it's week one, day one here, so to be expected, we want the best environment for the players, of course. But again, it's us, the Wee Bear Bros. It's me, Nice to Leo, and Renmar, and we are just moments away, hopefully, from the draft here for this first game against Twisted Minds and Aurora Gaming. We've already kind of talked about, you know, the stipulations here leading into this and what we can expect, I would say, especially like we mentioned with Red Side kind of, you know, being favored here. Also, we'll have to see here from Edward, though. It could be a big moment here. Third most played games in MPLPH history, 448 with a 56.7% win rate. And I know, again, a lot of these players have milestones ahead of them that maybe even will happen or fall into place here.
Yeah, by the way, if Edward wins this series here against Twisted Minds, he'll be the third player in MPL Philippines history to reach 100 wins. So he currently stands at 99 series wins throughout MPL Philippines. If he gets this, he gets past that threshold.
Pretty crazy to understand because he debuted in Season 4.
Yes.
So I wonder if the stats show this, but the players he's chasing in 1 and 2 have been here far longer than him.
Since Season 1, right? Or
Season 1 or in Season 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken, those stats show.
Yeah.
So that means all his hard work, never taking a break from Season 4 onwards, is paying off.
I mean, it's in the name, man. Mr. Consistent.
Mr. Consistent.
What else?
He's definitely on his way, of course, still. And he's done a lot. I mean, any time, really, for a lot of people, they do just kind of pay attention to what Edward does around the map. You know, he's one of the more well-known, I would say, especially XP laners, and how he plays and how he sets things up. Now, specifically, too, XP lane, I know, has had some of its own changes, right? We've been focusing a lot on some of these other roles and some of the things that can happen here. But now for XP lane, I feel like it's still, I said this last season, I was like, I really like where XP lane is. Like, I feel like it's one of the more healthy versions that the XP lane has been in. I know,
for sure.
I know Uranus has popped up again, but I don't
never
know
again.
if he will.
Hopefully never again.
Hopefully never again, but here we go.
Success.
Very little success or not, we're finally going to jump into the draft here to see what does end up happening for this first phase. And again, just pointing it out, you know, we got Twisted Minds here on that red side. RORA's over here. Bans are already...
The Immortal One chose me to vanquish the shadows
like
that plague this world.
Himself, Suyo.
Okay, so Suyo Joy trade is off. Suyo Nolan trade is online. Eve is up, but now for Twisted Minds, they'll go for the Harith priority. First two picks, quite a rarity actually. Usually see Harith come in third, but it's one of the main gold laners right now in the league. While of course the Hilda, which is one of the healthy EXP lane picks that we talked about earlier.
You know, with Hilda, where does that fit still, like, in this current meta? Since we're always talking about new meta, new era, could this also still work as a roam? I know it does pop up mostly in the XP lane, but even roam, like, the pressure, is it still good enough?
No, I think based on the performance of the teams who would field Hilda, they need an extra level of CC, vision, and initiation. So yeah, Hilda definitely, I'd say 4 out of 5 times won't fly in the roam.
And so for Aurora, they go ahead and pick up the Granger. One of the main traits right now in the gold lane, Harith versus Granger. Whoever gets those power picks, and of course, with what he brings to the table, with bringing people low even before the fight could begin. And of course, the Phoveus, which has popped up as one of the best EXP laners that you can pick if you want to be aggressive. If you want to be able to hold, what, 3v1, 4v1 to allow your team to follow up. Phoveus is built for that. Edward is ready for that.
Yeah, he is, and you know, completely agree. Phoveus is just kind of in your face, and there's not too much you can do about it. Now, if you're able to set up that real-world manipulation, maybe it helps kind of get in that favor again. We've seen this combination so often with the Eve and the Harith. That's so deadly when you're thinking about that death box itself, and especially when the Zaman forces drop down. Now we have to take a look at the second phase of bans here. What are we thinking?
Twisted Minds, Coach Bon, gonna start taking away mid laners, and there's one solid one. Haji definitely, with the Eve, has mid lane priority.
Yeah.
Although there's no room for magic damage anymore, we've seen in previous outings in the past, 3 or 4 months, that if an Eve is in your draft, they're definitely dealing the most damage in the first 10 minutes of the game, so that's enough.
Yeah.
So now for Twisted Minds, it's interesting that Aurora is actually respecting the possibility of a roam Hilda instead of an EXP Hilda because of the bans that they're prioritizing the EXP lane. You wouldn't think that they ban CC, but RORA are still leaning into the possibility that this Hilda can go into the roam. I like this ban here on the Jawhead because of how he's popped up as one of the most aggressive and surprisingly best roamers if you want to snowball really quickly. It isn't always a sure thing that you'll win the early game with the Jawhead, but it's just better to be safe than sorry.
And with this last ban, we'll see if they still kind of focus on some of those XP options. Maybe that CC too, you know, just kind of covering their bases, because we did mention, you know, 4 out of the 5 times you expect the Hilda to go in the XP lane, but there is always that chance, and I think that's part of it, you know, for Coach Master the Basics.
And all the more, I think Aurora are just really covering their bases, making sure that they're sure, is if you put Hilda in the hands of a player like Sensui, you're missing out on a lot of the mechanics that Sensui Instincts opens up for you in the roam. Hilda's a, I hate to say it, a brain-dead hero. That's not a Twisted Minds type of hero.
Just run straight.
Hey, look at that! It's a Hanzo ban!
Okay, Hanzo's going to be banned out here. What are you leaning towards here, Renmar, for these next picks from Twisted Minds?
Well, I'm already getting my mind twisted if ever they're really just going to put this Hilda in the roam and the EXP lane isn't showed yet.
Don't do it.
They need a strong frontline holder He'll ain't that against this lineup, but they might just open it. If it's not there, the Roam, I wonder if they'll consider the Tigreal, but it's difficult because the Valentina's still open on the side of Aurora.
Maybe you take Red 5. Because if you say it now, Tigreal Sensui with the Sensui instincts, oh, I'm all for it.
Oh, okay.
They save it, they save it!
They do save it, so they're going to save that last pick. They go with the Hayabusa. Aggressive jungler versus an aggressive jungle. Now the last 2 picks here.
Yeah, they're cooking right now, whatever Twisted Minds is thinking about putting into the Roam or EXP trade. Aurora, I think they can slot in a Gata Kacha Roam or Khalid Roam if they want to. That will give difficulty for this Eve. In terms of the mid laner up against the Harith, you can. I still would highly suggest Valentina because you actually turn off any big ticket ultimate roamers on the side of Twisted Minds, and even EXP laners if they're thinking about going into the Edith. It's a great deterrent pick if they go for that in the mid lane.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get to see the Cho, and then there's the Vexana, another common pick in that mid lane. So they got great setup potential just with the Cho alone, and you know this will. We'll see if actually Renegade is able to go ahead and play that part.
Yeah, I understand why they picked the Vexana over the Valentina, because the Valentina has conditional CC.
Yeah.
They definitely need something more proactive. They don't want the extra step between ult and fight. So they'd rather go for something that they can control, which again helps Yue. That's the Vexana.
Yeah, it rounds out the draft really well considering the Roamer is single target lockdown. You needed that AoE. So still, it was a good route taken by Aurora. Is this going to be a very surprising pick? Is it just going to default into a Tigreal? What's it going to be, Twisted Minds? Are you going to shock us for the very first day?
Oh, it's okay. It's Hylos.
Yeah, that's not very shocking.
I was going to say, yeah.
Hylos has seen a decline. In the last couple of days of Snapdragon Pro Series Season 6 in the playoffs, he just started dipping.
Yeah, I guess you could just say it's just a pathway now, not that glorious anymore.
Hey, it's still a pathway, though.
It's still a pathway.
So I don't know what the plan is here. What, double down on the AoE zoning? Just like,
I
real
think
world,
so.
glorious balance.
Summon Force, just throw everything, you know, at this point.
Yeah, you know what? That's like, I mean, if you're putting a jungler in a completely new role, that's like the safest way to go for. Pop down ultimates, play around the ultimates. Don't ask for anything fancy. That's like raw, pure MLBB.
I want to know exactly, going back to the key to victory here, is like, what is the Sensui instincts with this pick? How will this play a part into the whole plan, the whole play?
It's very macro-centric, and it's a new kind of Sensui instinct we've never seen before. Confirmed, he is playing the Hylos, rocking a Revitalize on it, so I don't know what happened to Sensui in Malaysia.
I don't know. We'll see what it unfolds here, but this is the opening game, opening match for MPL Philippines Season 15. Is it going to be a new era ahead of us? We're going to find out with these first 2 teams battling now, Twisted Minds and Aurora Gaming. Now we get it situated here. Redmar, how's it looking for the emblems?
Oh, well, for right now in the beginning of the game, you got the Hilda aggressively going into the mid. So he gave the vision. Actually, the Demon Kite is in his orange buff, so that's info already for Twisted Minds. While he's in the mid lane, he just completely left the Phobius there. And speaking of the emblems that you mentioned, let's just think about that some other time.
Ask and you shall receive. Eventually, we'll get there.
We'll get there eventually, you know? But yeah, that's the main thing. I think, you know, for the early game, things kind of getting situated here. One thing I really want to know is, because of the Hayabusa for MP the King, how aggressive can he start? Especially the fact that you have a Cho across from you and it's Renegade, and we all know, you know, the Hitman, that he's got his name for a reason, how aggressive he's going to be.
I'll tell you now, on behalf of MP the King, not at all. You see how this Hayabusa did not cross the river at all? But what's bothering me is how come Renegade is not crossing the river too? You mentioned how aggressive he is, but he's here being more of a security guard instead of a hitman.
Yeah, his rotations right now just speak of, let me protect Doming Kite first. So Twisted Minds went into this with a possibility that it's going to be a hyper-aggressive Twisted Minds trying to get the gold laner down early. But right now, Twisted Minds here first against Aurora in the center of the map.
Forcing some shadows out from MP the King. Hajizi playing with range here, down to a third of his health. A little bit of a back and forth action. No real conclusion just yet. Look at that amazing cut down bottom.
Yeah. That was a big cut down at the bottom. Now fight.
Oh, Sensui looking very low despite popping the Revitalize. It's slain by the last Raider. The steal by MP the King though on the turtle, and they're happy with their objective. They back off. Here comes Aurora with the rest of the squad coming through. Yue blasting James, and here's a real elimination. Defensively used by Hajizi. Purple still standing, and the rest of Aurora back off.
You know, Hajizi saved that purple buff from falling into the hands of Aurora. He had to use his ultimate to do it, but they needed to make sure they kept it. And I think this is where we're seeing a little bit of the inexperience of Sensui in the roam role. You should not be that deep for the first turtle if the purple buff of your purple buff dependent hero hasn't been taken yet, because you leave yourself susceptible to getting invaded. Good thing Hajizi saved the situation.
Yeah, not only that too, but some of those little decisions will play a part as they transition here. Renegade is gonna get that level 4. He might just try to slow down MP, but it looks like he spotted out, so he finds him and he backs out. So again, a kind of a, you know, maybe a misplay to an extent there, that first turtle, but look at the fight here, still in the jungle.
Ooh, glorious pathway, setting to punish Renegade. Another one, EG, keeping Sensui down, throwing him 6 feet under the ground. Another free kill for Aurora.
That felt also just like an unfortunate timing by Sensui, going up against one of the most talented mid laners, Yue. His EG was put down perfectly.
Not only that, but you know, you saw the pathway drop down, but he was just seconds off from having the revitalize.
I don't blame Sensui again. You saw Renegade use the flicker.
Yeah.
So that's a clear go sign, and that was what his instincts told him to do. It's just there wasn't much follow through, and he got punished instead.
Yeah, again, it goes back to the thought, pathway right now ain't that glorious. It's gonna take some time to be able to build it properly.
I think it's a high loss issue, man. Unless you're really bearing down on an assassin, that's gonna do the job. But here we see Demon Kite, looking to save Renegade, not gonna work out. Finally, Twisted Minds on the kill board.
All right, Twisted Minds, good response from them at a crucial time too. I mean, this turtle's gonna be up here, but I'm not sure if they're gonna have free reign on it. James gonna make his way. They will start the turtle up though, and RORA, he's zoned out here for a little bit.
Lord's pathway, man advantage for Twisted Minds. Demon Kite very low. The EG used to save the Suyo, the jungler, and another turtle scored by Twisted Minds. They're looking to punish. How deep can they get? James here might get caught out, retreating underneath the river brush. A little bit more CC, and the deep dive by Mr. Consistent. One more takes him down.
And that's going to be difficult for any high loss to get out of, because your roamer is, or EXP laner that you're paired with is different. Already, Jay!
What? Way of the dragon, serving up a kill to Demon Kite.
Hitman thing still activated, and Renegade, after getting read out by Twisted Minds before that previous turtle, now he was able to read Twisted Minds' rotation and take out MP the King. Great adjustment by Aurora.
Great adjustment. It looks like they're not gonna just let up at all here. They're looking to make plays even in various lanes across the map right now. They might have lost the 2 turtles, but you can see the response from RORA, and that's also Skypiercer now locked in for Demon Kite.
And the Starlium Scythe in outplayed. So about 5 minutes in, I'm gonna say it now, yes, Sensui has died 3 minutes since, but also nobody's touched outplayed. And this is dangerous. If you give a Harris that mid-game power spike, you could see the tables turn.
And definitely Aurora has to watch out for that, because Outplay is getting really aggro, but he does have Sensui with him in lane. That has to be the warning shot for Aurora, that at some point they're going to really have to make a move for the gold lane, try to get a kill onto him. If not get a kill, just delay his farm. Speaking of, Thunderbelt already built up for Hilda. You got the Starlium for the Harith, and it's the 2-item rush for the Granger, the typical Hunter Strike, and a Sky Piercer for him.
Yeah, again, playing into this, they want to put pressure up here under this tier 1 turret top side. Renegade won't be able to find anything just yet. He does have Flicker available, so he could always pull that trigger, but they know Turtle is going to be up in about 10, and that's why you see some of the placements here. James!
Ooh, he's very deep, forcing Demon Kite to back up. The Glorious Pathway by Sensui, compromising Renegade's positioning, and the clapback now. Sensui forces to revitalize, taken down once more, serving up a kill to Demon Kite. The man advantage going into the last turtle goes to Aurora.
MP?
They're not done. Shadow kill by MP the King. Does get the quad shadow out using maximum range. They're still not done. Here comes outplayed. He does get compromised once more. The kick, the combo. Too late, the real world manipulation. James does find one. All this while Demon Kite was pushing off Cam.
There's a lot of crowd control on the side of Twisted Minds needs to deal with. Single target getting maximized really well. The crowd control from the Fulvius, the Cho, the Vexana all together. It's getting Twisted Minds, well, sorry for the pun, twisted up in terms of the engagements of when to take it and what happens when they actually decide to take it.
It's interesting because, again, the concept is there. The theory with the lineup that they have is there. They just haven't found that right timing yet to make this all work. And a big thorn in the side of them is Renegade on the toe. Like right now, he's going to go ahead and spot them out, zone them out from this turtle. They might be able to claim this one. Here's the pathway.
We set it up. Another shadow set. It's Yue who gets the turtle. Shields and damage all the way for Aurora. They take down James. Edward's still alive. Deep diving in. Infernal Pursuit onto Hajizi, replacing him, repositioning him. Edward! Now they're still going. Down goes Edward. Killed by Outplayed. And trading off for Sensui. 2 for 1. Currently going for a beeline into mid.
Yeah, it's not an EXP lane diff, and it's an EXP lane hit diff. Phobius over Hilda. That's the story.
That is the story. We're going to take a look here in just a second at the replay of that fight. Again, it took some time to get to the fight for the third turtle, but look at this difference here with the lineups that they have. And again, like you said, look at what Edward's actually able to do. The Hilda can't do this. You can't just go ahead and force yourself in pursuit against 3.
But that's what he tried to do. So he fundamentally went for a play that would punish him at the end of the day. And now they're forced to play off of the map. They're going where Aurora isn't, because that's the wrath of this 4K gold lead.
And right now the lead is actually slipping. Very much so over the Harith against the Granger, because it's now 3 items locked in. Malefic Roar already locked in for Dominkite, while still on the way to the Holy Crystal is outplayed. So they're sacrificing, both of them actually, the side lane, far lane in their respective towers. So that's just gonna level out, and it's gonna boil down to another fight around the center of the river, which again, how will Twisted Minds answer the Phobius when it comes to team fights? Because right now, they don't have the answer. With the Harith lacking the Holy Crystal still, every dash the Harith uses just helps Edward.
And not only that, but the fact that Edward did just pick up a Radiant Armor too. You know, so like there's so much magic damage on this profile from Twisted Minds lineup that Edward being that guy in the front and then being able to soak that up and has that magic resistance is going to help him do it even more.
Save for the late game spike that Twist is now looking for. That's all they have. That's all, unless they snowball in the early game, it would have been too late. Oh my God, just off the camera, MP the King gets run through by Aurora in his attempt to get the purple. This all but seals the Lord. Now Edward trying to get some in. EG into 3. Down goes Edward, killed by James. Renegade as well, Outplayed is going insane. Yue goes down, 3 for 1, 3 for 2 the current trade. Now James is taken down by Dominkite, 3 for 3. The river is bloody.
I gotta say, good job for James, because we just talked about what the Hilda can and can't do. Well, at least he was able to do that and stop too.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about with the lineup of... Oh, wait, Hajizi!
Blank! Blasted by Dominkite. This is my boomstick!
You know, for Twisted Minds, without their ultimates, it's hard for them to engage. We talked about their lineup being drop, ulti, we fight, we win. And, well, they didn't completely win that one, but you get to see just how strong that very basic fundamental idea of MLBB is. The problem still stands. Aurora know the trades and understand the trades very well.
It's just the amount of damage that RORA is able to pump out in such a short amount of time. And Dominkite, he's already a problem. You know, you can see it from this replay here. This was a good engage, and keep an eye too on James. He goes to the backside, puts enough pressure, but the same thing happens under that death box we were talking about on the other side.
All right. Action slowed down in real time, by the way. Here we see Renegade playing with fire, forcing out the shadow kill and the kick! MP the King traded for Renegade. It's a blackout Hellcurt ult. Dark Knight falls. Ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get back into the action. We know that this is a key part of the fight, but it looks like, all right, broadcast has paused. Combat action has paused all around.
It has. It wasn't just us.
All right.
Okay, well.
All right, we'll get back into it.
All right.
Show us the camera angle there. Like, get us behind the players.
All right, look at those fingers. See, claw.
This season. You know what?
We can only assume.
Yeah, we can just only assume.
See, claw.
They're hot in it right now.
Claw.
Yeah.
MP.
That's some aggressive pressing.
He's locked in.
That's not a team fight. He's checking his items right now.
Demon kind of swell here, man.
Going through it.
Oh, man. So, like, again, we got to kind of just wait to get back into the game there. But right now, I would say based on, you know, before we got Hellcurted there, it's not looking too hot, you know, for Twisted Minds and some of these team fights and the way that they're kind of getting blasted before these next objectives do come up.
You know what? This is just evident of Twisted Mind's decision to play in pure absolutes. Every single hero does one singular thing well, and if it doesn't go well, and they don't get the trades that they want, goes sideways. That's exactly what happened when they got those 3-for-3 or 3-for-2s, and then immediately RORA goes for the Lord, because RORA is able to slip through the cracks. All other heroes can capitalize and punish when your timing is off.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the difficult things we're seeing with the draft of Twisted Minds, the fact that they decided to prioritize the Hilda very early on into the draft. It felt like they were leaning into it, they had some idea towards it, but at the end of the day, when you prioritize a pick like Hilda, first 2 picks on the red side, that screams comfort. That screams confidence from your EX player that, okay, I can win this lane. Pick this for me. You're giving info to the other team that it's a potential switch pick, even though Hilda has always fallen into the EXP lane pick recently.
Yeah.
But now it feels like with the high loss pick in the last, it's sort of just like, wait, what happened to the plan?
The flex wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
They invested so much in the flex, but they were looking at their notifications. Flex just went down like 3%, 10%, 15%.
It almost makes you wonder, like, what if, you know, again, it is only the first game, so I don't want to, like, go too deep into what could have been, but I'm almost wondering, too, like, what if it was that Tigreal, you know, would have it been a better case? Because right now, I just think the lineup from RORA is being executed so well because of the amount of crowd control that they have. And I know when we went into the game, we were like, man, you know, they have a choke. It's a lot of that single target lockdown. Yeah. But even with the EG, like the Eternal Guard alone from this Vexana pick is actually causing a lot of issues for Twisted Mind's lineup, you know, on how to execute in those team fights.
Okay, so just an update for our viewers there. The game has paused, and as it stands, 13 minutes and 34 seconds into the game, RORA have a significant lead in the map and in the gold. They have a 7,000 gold lead, 43,000 to 36,000 of Twisted Minds, while after the kill and trade between MP the King and Renegade that we saw before the Hellcurve ult, there was actually 3 turrets taken by Aurora.
Because they had a Lord marching through.
Because they had a Lord marching through. Meaning that right now Twisted Minds find themselves in a very difficult position in the map with Aurora having a considerable lead.
And even with that, it makes me wonder, you know, with Twisted Mind's lineup, this lineup should, in theory, do well on defense. It should. Like, if you think about the Eve and having the Hereth there too, and yeah, the Pathway, the Glorious or not.
But consider this. That's like having good cardio going on an MMA fight.
That's true.
I'm going to last long, but I'm not going to win. You know, you're planning for not losing.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? How do they get there? Do they punish? Do they, like, take down Renegade and then they go on to the next dude, take down Edward? If that happens, if they find a way to do that, then we can start thinking of the next steps.
It makes me wonder if, yeah, like if you're going to dissect on exactly how they approach that base defense, then maybe they're able to catch someone. But even then, when you look at the lineup, who is going to be the one to catch someone off guard, you know, from RORA? Because even for Domenkite, man, he's had free reign from the back, and that's why the Granger is so great here. You know, it's such a great pick against this specific lineup from Twisted Minds.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you could say that HaGZ and Outplayed timed their ultimates perfectly alongside Sensui's Glorious Pathway, and you have members of RORA trapped, Edward's still going to be able to buy so much time while dealing damage. Renegade can buy so much time while dealing crowd control that, again, it boils back to the idea of Domenkite and Yue are so happy from the backline, just tearing everybody up.
Interesting fact here, by the way. HaGZ holds the highest kills, 19 with 0 deaths. 19-0 back in MPL PH history. This is Season 6, while using Roger versus BSB. I'm sure you gentlemen, were you gentlemen there?
No, we were not.
You weren't there?
We jumped in during the playoffs. Yeah, so we were not there for this momentous event. And what's crazier is this was from an older era of MLBB. This was pre-franchise. This was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And this even trumps Innocent's murderous run at M6. What was the record? 17?
17? I think it was 17.
On a Granger?
Yeah.
Haji still trumps him, man. So,
and on a Roger, by the way.
That's right. So whenever Innocent comes home, it's like, nice try, young blood.
Young blood.
Pretty sure they're closer to age. You know, they would have come each other up, but still 19 and 17?
Yeah, that's
different
crazy.
time, too. So there's still a record.
19-0. So back then, this would have been the KDA machine.
Oh yeah, for sure. that is
100%.
That is skewed stats to the max.
I mean, right now in this game, he's not a machine, but he's a pretty respectable KDA from a losing position. 1-1-5, 7 total kills on the side of Twisted Minds, meaning that Haji's been a big part of every win that Twisted Minds has seen so far.
For like 95%.
Yeah, 95% of it, the difficulty. While I think we really have to acknowledge the fact that, I mean, I feel like we could say we've casted and seen so many games.
Yeah.
The disconnect between Sensui and MP the King right now just feels so real. Like that point where Aurora just full invaded the jungle of the Hayabusa. He was left alone while Sensui and the others decided to loop around, trying to look for a gank. That just screamed someone still getting used to the rotational timings of a roamer.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Just like Twisted Minds being so committed to absolutes, I'm gonna roll back on my whole parabolic chamber practice that Sensui went through. I think he's not comfortable with the role, with his teammates. It's just very clear
Just
that
the role in general.
I think the hero was picked out of place too. Like, I mean, they haven't lost yet, but it's a clear factor to everything that's happened in the past 13 minutes.
He's still at SS1 in this role.
Not even SS, bro.
He's not even SS?
He's at Krillin levels.
Give him the Sensu bean at this point, man. Sensu.
The what?
Sensu bean.
Sensu
bean. Give Sensui a Sensu bean.
The one that
the
fat cat provides.
Yeah.
Up in the sky.
It's like the thing they eat when they're really down and out, and then all of a sudden
dead yet.
they're not dead.
You need a Dragon Ball.
Yeah, yo, you guys just exposed me for not watching Dragon Ball.
Oh my God, that's his quirk. Oh!
Yeah, that's my quirk, and not the superpower.
It's just a defect.
Yeah, it's just a defect.
It's a cultural defect.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, I can go for ages about different anime, but not that one. I'm so sorry, y'all. I hyped out though when I saw the clips of what Goku's been doing. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I
you know who Goku is even?
Hey!
Yeah, he's the one with the blue armor.
He did wear blue armor at some point.
At some point he did.
I know Bulma and Android very well.
Okay.
They're great characters.
How do you know them so?
No, I mean, like, yo, that clip with like, how she stopped Vegeta with like fighting, that was pretty cool.
Android 18 is arguably one of the best characters in pop culture.
100%. Like, yeah, I've never seen it, and I still like.
Great turn, like as a villain, and then we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we are.
We are getting sidetracked, but I'm still gonna stand by the point that, and build up of what Leo was saying, that yeah, I have to agree. The way this is going right now, Sensui, there's a disconnect that's happening here, at least for game one. Again, I'm hoping that, you know, this is just one of those things where they need some of that time to build up.
Yeah.
But it's clear that our kind of concerns coming into this, and seeing that when we did see Sensui was going to be playing Rome and knowing how good he is in the jungle. But again, you have two contrasting players, and I don't know, could they still eventually, obviously not for the series, but still switch things out? Like, would Sensui end up in the jungle than MP in the Rome? Is that as crazy as what's happening now?
Where's Jomi? Where's Escalera? Where's Jojo? Like, that's what I'm looking for.
I think that's like one of the good things about what Twisted Minds built in their roster is that Sensui, I feel like it's gonna be a lot of pressure on him because of, well, it's shown that he's an option to roam, okay. Escalera's there too, okay. But if ever we fall back to the meta of the Fredrin and the Martis, Sensui's very comfortable in that. If ever we require someone to use those very tanky fighter junglers, Sensui's there to swap in for MP the King if ever that situation arises.
That's what we expected.
Yeah, that's what we thought would happen.
There's another note for you guys out there, a little fun fact. Hajizi, the only player in MPL PH history to win both RS MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. So regular season and Finals MVP. So what season was this?
I would reckon this was season 8.
I was going to say season 8
season 8.
Yes. This is my first season.
Yeah. So you were there. You saw this happen before your very eyes in the World Trade Center in Pasay City.
With face shields.
Manila. Yes, with face shields. That's right.
At that time we didn't have those face shields.
I think we still did.
We did? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It feels like a long time ago.
4 years ago.
Wow, it's been 4 years.
Man, we're getting old.
I don't know about you. I just turned 23 last month.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. Belated.
Happy belated. We got to get our own little, eventually that'd be a fun fact to do. Little timeline of our you know, how we had the player history. And I know we're going to be seeing that for each team, I believe, for the 7-year history.
Yep.
Imagine if we had one for the casters.
Turn 16.
Turn 16.
At some point, you're just going to see 2019 to 2020 for me is just rotten at home as a potato. I was the opposite of a KDA machine.
When did you guys find Mobile Legends? Did you find it when it came out?
Oh yeah,
it found me.
It found you?
Late 2016 is when I found it. I couldn't believe that there was a MOBA that played the full experience on my phone.
On your phone.
Because I was a kid that grew up in internet cafes, in PC bongs as they would call them.
PC bong?
Yeah, I would have to run away from home and hide it from my parents, and I spent a random 2 hours like. You know, like when you get abducted by a UFO, you would understand, right?
Yeah.
You have missing time.
Yeah.
My parents would say, "Where were you for 2 hours?" I was at a PC bar.
I was at a PC
So
bar.
yeah, so imagine that. You know, all the money I spent and the time I spent in internet cafes in front of a PC that I didn't own.
Yeah.
In my hands. That's what Mobile Legends was for me.
That was a game changer.
That's right.
I think even for me, it was at a time where I was just like, man, I don't have as much time to sit at a PC bong, so I might as well just do it on my phone.
Right.
And here we are, years later, right? I know they're having fun out there too, because a lot of the audience here, I didn't know they called that. The U cult? UA cult? The UA cult.
Wait, they have a name for that?
Yes, there was. I was taking a peek at the phones, and that's what they had on the phones.
Wait, they have changed? Last I checked, they were UNatics.
Now it's UA cult.
I was inducted as a UNatic.
So now you have to join the U cult.
Yeah.
That's probiotic.
How do you do that? Who do I have to talk to?
I don't know. I think it's the people up there in front.
Who is the chapter master of the
U cult.
UA cult? I might dox myself. Never mind. I don't want to say where I'm from.
That's a woman just asking for a sick leave from her boss.
Mama, yeah. Why later though?
Oh, she's probably night
maybe
shift.
She works the nights. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, fresh graduate. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I hope you find a good job.
Is that Womi? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Why is this Womi?
It's the shirt. It says cursed shirt. If you know, you know. I'm not going to explain it. I've already said some pretty risque things today. I'm not going to explain that anymore.
Yep,
I actually don't know that one.
Well-known matinee idols from the early 2000s, yeah.
Ah.
If you know, you know.
If you don't know, it might look like the players are about to jump back in here. We'll see if once we get through this time.
Less than a minute. Less than a minute
to go.
Folks, don't hold your breath, but still, you know, like, we're hoping. Because the last time we checked in, right, at the 13-minute, 34-second mark, it was actually a fight, and then it was a trade.
No, actually, when we get back, we have to catch up because remember we got hell-curted.
There was like 5.
And they were still moving.
There was like 5 seconds of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, to recap, after the last pickoff that we saw, it's UA cult. Yeah, you're right.
Cults.
Yeah, UA cult. Okay.
So there's several? Yeah. Or are you a UA cult as a member? I would assume it's the latter.
We're gonna have to ask him.
We have to ask him the specifics of it. Again, when we left
get a
off,
registration form.
last thing we saw was a trade between Epi the King and Renegade.
Oh.
And what happened after that was Aurora clearing out the map.
Dear Lord, one of the 3 towers that went was an inhibitor down bottom, and now James checking in. River Brush. There's 4 members in vision. Royce Batley set in, plus a real-world manipulation, and the clapback is real from Aurora, sending back the rest of Twisted Minds. And they spent all of their ults. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a clear take for Aurora. This Lord ain't going nowhere but the Northern Lights.
It's crazy because a different type of Lord messed with him. That was the Eternal Guard, the mini Lord, because it dropped down, hit 3, and it literally stopped Twisted Minds in their tracks. And they're like, nope, never mind.
Is it the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen Twisted Minds just go, because of you is really good timing.
Gojira!
You know, that'd be a good skin. Like in the Godzilla goes down for the Eternal Guard. But yeah, US timing's been on point, and we're also reminded of one of the biggest problems. Again, we have to reiterate, Twisted Minds cannot reach Dom and Kite safely. Even if they got a good engagement there where they didn't all get knocked up, they still wouldn't have had the space to be able to reach Dom and Kite before Dom and Kite brought them down low with the damage from afar.
Yeah, it's like what we talked about. Again, for Twisted Minds, it's like, who are they going to be able to focus down? Who are they going to go for? Okay, he gets out of there. That's fine. They get ready for this defense. But their best target is probably an overstepped Renegade or UA if they can. But here we go. We'll see if they hold on 2 of the game right now. They're going to lose the top turret next. They're going to clump up around the base here. They got to deal with this Lord, and they take care of that. We'll see if RORA goes. Renegade has an immortality, so he could take a step forward. Edward as well, the stalwart in the front. They hold on. Mid-turret's going to be the next focus, but right now it's RORA knocking on the door.
Impressive defense by Twisted Minds, losing no bodies and surrendering only the top lane inhibitor. So they live to see another day, another defense. About a minute and a half until the Lord spawns.
Yeah, it's not looking good in terms of the items. MP the King has struggled this entire game. He needs one. If he can get that one item in there, that's when Aurora is really going to start feeling like shadow kill. Even though it's going to be forced or early, is going to be a problem. You don't have to use it to sweep anymore. You can actually use it to just deal the initial burst damage Twisted Minds is having a hard time dealing at the start of a fight from a safe distance. And speaking of distance, again, the Granger is just pounding on Twisted Minds' formation right now.
Save for Haji's real-world manipulation, they are outranged.
Yeah.
Almost every single time.
And that's literally like that Granger pick. You know, it's such a nuisance for Twisted Minds to deal with because, again, when they don't have this kind of like catch ability, they're, one, not going to get close to Dominkai. So then they have to kind of default to, all right, who do we go? I mean, look at the amount of damage he's done. And a lot of that has just been firing off shots from the backside, you know, not really needing to do much because he knows every single time that Twisted Mind wants to actually fight, they're going to fight around Hajizi on that setup with the rear world manipulation. And so everybody's clumped up anyway. So you just go ahead and shoot and shoot and shoot from the back and then let them shine from there.
Renegade baiting something out from Sensui here. Again, one of their only real semblances of a front line and CC. Twisted Minds, they might even have to take this in the base again.
Yeah, with the Lord up, speaking of instincts, Aurora, how they checked that formation of Twisted Minds there was just on point. First, the Queller from Demon Kai to spot Sensui. Then you got a Death Sonata spotting out, I believe it was James hugging a shrub. That's just Aurora showing off to Twisted Minds that, like, we're reading you, and that's another great toss of the Death Sonata. Again, formation red, Twisted Minds, yeah, they gotta let this go. If they full commit this Lord here, it's gonna be devastating.
I think this is where, once again, we see if Twisted Minds, if they force it here, again, it's playing against the range, but also the Eternal Guard being dropped down by UA. As long as they're able to get those checked off the box, I think they can put enough pressure towards the backside that they can make a play.
Another read. Yue blasts that brush as soon as James walks into it.
That's just familiarity, man. Like, Aurora's in the zone right now in
They
terms
are.
of reading rotations and reading the potential placements of Twisted Minds in the shrubs.
This is now where you go ahead and you have to manage those waves. Bottom and top be a push, but Haji's going to be fine. This might be a play here, though.
All right, Renegade and Edward walk into the white brush. The way of the dragon, compromising. Sensui blasts him, pops his immortality. Renegade goes down. Outplayed as well, just as soon as he gets into range. Dominkai pushing away the back line. And it's all 4 members of Twisted Minds that entered. Rora's space taken out, and MP the King, the only one left. This could be an end angle.
They won't even need the Lord with it. They got the minions and the numbers.
And MP the King survives just to see his base get cracked wide open. Aurora, MLBB, take game 1.
Clean game coming out from RORA here for game number 1. In MPL Philippines Season 15 game, and it was a glaring problem for Twisted Minds here, especially on how they executed going into game number 1.
Wow, that's tough. That's a tough welcome to a new season for a team still discovering themselves for Twisted Minds, while Aurora just showing what they've been on since MPL Philippines Season 14. That, yes, again, the many questions of inconsistency, but when they're firing off on all cylinders, as we mentioned earlier, they're a terrifying team to go up against.
They are, and I think, you know, really looking at this game number 1, again, small sample size for now, but this is kind of what we expected from RORA. You know, you can see where that refinement from their journey through S14, their eventual showing, you know, towards the playoffs and the ending there for the finals. And then even, again, we have to kind of break down what they probably learned and experienced in M6 in Malaysia, even though it wasn't the result that they wanted here. But this looks like a solid showing for the season opener, I would say. Now, they still have another game to win here, but the way that they played game one, it's hard to pick out where they, you know, had like some of the weak points in the armor for this one.
This is where, as a mind, am I correct to assume that that is the fan club of Twisted Minds?
I would.
Yeah. If you're a mind,
you're a mind.
This is a juncture where you say let them cook. But if you let them cook, what does that mean for this lineup? Do you still assume that it's Insui in the room? Because I'm not buying it. It's just hard to see what they did here, how it works.
Well, again, we'll have to see how they want to do that. For MVP, though, for the game, of course, it is going to be Dome and Kite, a phenomenal game on the Granger, and this is what we were kind of assuming to happen when it was brought up in the draft here. Just phenomenal, 7-0-4.
Yeah, again, everything was set up for him to be able to shine, and he took it on his own hands and was able to execute when they asked him to, especially that last team fight where we saw where he decided to take the initiative to go forward. He said, you know what, I'm at this point with that Harith is down, I can go forward too. I don't have to worry about anyone blasting me in the face and then bursting me down the moment I go forward. He's the one doing the blasting.
Even MP the King couldn't touch Dom and Kite.
Yeah, they couldn't. And I think, again, Renegade, you know, we're getting a glimpse of him here. But the early game pressure that he was able to do and even the peeling allowed Dome and Kite to get to that comfortable position. Because a lot of the times, too, he's chasing people down like we see here and, you know, able to cap off. But even then, Edward on the Phobius, man. That's why I say all these picks that we saw in the draft played their parts from start to finish the game.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to understand now also why potentially Twisted Minds got the Hilda instead of the Phobius. Because if they got the Phobius, that would have been a clear sign for Aurora to just go, yeah, let's just pick up the Eve now because that's going to be going great for us. So they pick up the Hilda for a swerve instead. They ended up with the Eve, but then they just had no answer for the Phobius. And Dom and Kite, of course, again, the MVP of the game, he checked what MP the King was expected to do, which was dive him. Every time MP the King showed up, Aurora had someone with Dom and Kite, and if they didn't, Dom and Kite was just ready to blast MP the King the moment before he even got to press the shadow kill.
And all the more, even before the 13-minute mark, before we had that short break, we were already counting out, all right, how does Twisted Minds defend, right? How do they win? Pick off 3 members of Aurora. Towards the final moments of this game, that's what Aurora did. For Dom and Kite to be able to cut into the back line, as crazy as it is, a Granger cutting into the back line, they picked up the 3 frontliners first, and then they took the game. So Aurora were thinking that far ahead.
Yeah, they were thinking ahead, and that's why I said, you know, Dome and Kite, and a lot of these gold laners, when they get to shine like that, especially throughout the game, they get these MVP performances. You know, the roams, and even to this extent, again, Yue on the Vexana, able to peel with just an Eternal Guard, really lets them to go ahead and position themselves in favor when it comes to the team fights.
Something else to note, exactly why I think